person to speak will be Lucky Maako from Tshwane University of Technology, and he's going to speak of the advances of ICTs as monitoring and surveillance techniques. Thanks, Lucky.
My name is already been introduced. I'm Lucky Maako, all the way from Tshwane University of Technology. That's the institution where I'm working. Basically, why I'm here is to give you an overview of the role ICT is playing in the biodiversity areas of South Africa. ICT is quite a complete different discipline in the form of communications and technology. So we want to know what are the positive and the negative impacts that ICTs bring into the whole environment. Now, so we'll be talking about South Africa, looking at where are we going, and comparing it, the ICT work of South Africa, various case studies which will engulf all the 9 provinces, challenges, and then we're going to, at the end, to come with a proposed framework that will be utilized in future by some researchers and the conclusion thereof. Now, by ICT in this particular region, simply means all computers, satellite, wireless communication, mobile, internet, email, and so on. That is what we mean by ICT regarding the usage there. Then just giving you a background here again of that. Basically, as we mentioned on Monday, most farmers are relying much on computers and the services that they get, and the industry as such, and the climate change, which is one part of the biodiversity, and the field data stuff there. So that basically covers the ICT structures. Now let's see where we are, South Africa. I always approach things by the method of, if I don't know who I am, then I will not be able to know my neighbor. I will not be able to know all the people in my surrounding. So the National Biodiversity Act in 2002 supports the issue that better observational and monitoring capabilities of technology must be in place so as to be able to save the environment. And in 2002, again, on the World Summit on Sustainable Development, it was also mentioned that the integrated technology and management practices are key to land, water, and living resources conservation. In other words, if we can integrate them properly, then in agriculture there will be productivity. Again, on some issues of Millennium Development, one of the goals of Millennium Development was ICT, somehow it has to support it. Now, if you can look down there, in one of the Millennium Development Goals, it has to ensure environmental stability. How do you ensure environmental stability? It's by remote sensing technology and communication networks, we can permit more effective monitoring, resource management, mitigation of environmental risk, and so on. So that is one goal, which is number 7 of the environmental goal. Now, still on South Africa, we are regarded as the best in Africa with highest number of cell phone users. So they always say, make the best of what you have. Now, since we are the country number 1 regarding technology, we are the one with the highest subscriber numbers. We are saying here, what is that which we can achieve in the biodiversity area? That is why now the topic was put into place there. South Africa, it is the eastern and the southern continent of Africa, and since 2008 and 2009. Some studies are still now busy there from 2010 to 2015. We want to see what is the trend there. But the idea is we're still number 1 there regarding the technology. Now, the graph that you see here, it just gives us some different market users of South Africa. The 54 there, it simply means of all the poor people that are owning cell phones, only 54 of them are cell phone owners. Whereas the working class, they are 84% of the class are the ones that have got cell phones. So it tells that there is still a lot to be done. Half of the poor still cannot own a cell phone. Now, if we address any problem in biodiversity, we need to see to it that it caters for all, not only those that are the working class in the upper region there. Again, there is a problem of pricing. We know the technology can be used, but the question is, it's not for free. When you want to use a technology, sophisticated as it might be, but now sometimes the price becomes an issue. In South Africa, we had a problem with the price. 3 years ago, there was an inquiry that was conducted to check how we charge concerning our cell phones. And then the discovery was that in all those countries, we were charged that money, which is almost $413 per year for a low-class user. We're not talking about the top class here. We've been ranked. This study was done with the Organization of Economic and Cooperation Development, which did a benchmark to check how pricing is done in South Africa. And then we realized that we are the highly paid people that are using this, the ICT, especially cell phone and so on. Now they look into the number of SMSs that you are using, the number of data bundle that you are using, the number of voice calls that you are using per year. And it has been realized, and this is only the lowest charge. So some people are using, the figure there in a year, it's almost 3,400 compared to Canada, which is not competitive IT-wise compared to South Africa. It's only $57 per the minimum for the average person there. Now it tells a lot that the pricing obviously is not the right move to go to. Now again, we look into the broadband because IT is about three things. It's either you use mobile cell phone, fixed line, and the broadband where the issue of internet and things coming into place. Now we've just realized that the figures here, they indicate the lowest and the highest prices. Coming back to South Africa, if you look into the figure here, this is the lowest and the highest is 1,342, 130 there. But now comparing with the highest price that is charged in Japan, for instance, 86. What is highest in Japan is even, what is low in South Africa is even higher than the highest prices there. Now it tells that there are some problems in South Africa, even though we are number one in Africa, but there's still a problem. So, now, comparing with the whole world, we are the 20th largest consumer of IT product and services in the world. So this is what made us to be proud South Africans, and I'm proud of that as well. But the bad part of it is when coming to challenges, only the 3% of the whole consumers in the world, 3% is from Africa, so South Africa included there. So it tells a lot that it's just a tip of an ice, even though we can say we are the best, but compared to other countries in Africa, the figure will go down. We have achieved a lot in South Africa concerning ICT. There were access points that were created, the hubs and telecenters, because the government was emphasizing this thing of telecenters, such as Bamshela, the Musunduzi Community Network Project. All these telecenters, the aim was to make it a point that ICT is accessible at the lowest rate. Now, and it was mostly based in rural areas because there is this imbalance of urban and rural areas. So the focus of the government was on the rural areas. It's a good thing that we've got telecenters. Now the question is, what challenges are we going to come across? We'll see when we go to the next slide. Again, about South Africa in the biodiversity world, we are proud that where we are now is the home of the World Heritage Sites, such as the St. Lucia. I shared that people are talking about it in our slide previously. Ukamba, Drakensberg. We've got ICT, we've got good biodiversity, which is rich, and the culture and landscape of South Africa is diverse as much as we anticipated it, with big games, golden beaches, and so on. This is a positive. This is what we must make use of. It's advantageous for us to see to it that we still maintain that. Now,
Lucky 7 minutes.
Okay. I think this bit it belongs to Megan Diamond. Megan, if you have lost one of your bets in your presentation, it has just flown over here. I'll give you after this slide. Look how beautiful it is. Look how beautiful it is. It's just now the question of how do we conserve this? in a more proper way. So each time I use this presentation, I always look at the beauty nature of conservation, and then that's why this comes into existence. Now, there are many achievements that we did in as far as ICT in the form of Geographical Information System, Cape Florist region, the Kruger National Park. They've all done this thing in a way that it has helped them. For specialists, Kruger National Park has done the Landsat and MODIS technology, which have helped them to identify between high fertility and low fertility zones, so that they can know which plant can be put here for their animals to survive. And as well as the Cape Florist region. We say Cape Florist region, but this falls between the Western Cape, the Northern Cape, and the Eastern Cape. It's just somewhere in the region there. So the 3 provinces are covered. The mitigation of drought through the GIS is also done in such a way that if we can manage drought, then there's no way in future we can talk about hunger and poverty, because ICT will be giving us proper way to deal with the risk there. There are many initiatives from the department, the Agricultural Department, the Department of Rural Development, and the Department of Health, that have shown more concern to see how valuable is the ICT in the form of AGIS from the Agricultural Department. But what is more important now, when coming to the animals in biodiversity, was the Department of Health. What they did is they've made use of Ethernet cameras. On Monday, since we arrived here, there was a problem of people saying that our animals, when we need to have a permit, some permits are not good. But now Ethernet is sorting out that. You're not going to need a permit to take your animal from one place to another, because through this is what's going to happen. The machines you see here, this is the radiographic, the histographic one in the center, and that one is the echinocardiographic. We all use these machines in veterinaries are using this machine to diagnose animals. So what is important about that now is through the server or the internet, when you diagnose this, the information that you get, you may still send it through with images that have got pictures inside. So there will be a time whereby farmers and whoever is transporting animals, game reserve people, they don't have to take an animal from one place to another. Only these machines, because you've got intranet, that will save the information. So movement is no more going to be a problem, and there will be cost reduction a lot, and there will be as well time saving there.
Oh, goodness, lucky.
Okay. Then so many birds are flowing from this site again. This is the second one. Again, for fishermen and strays by, they've used the available information from our the GIS in order to be able to know what time is right for them to go and fishing, and that has saved them a lot, because in terms of traditional costs, that was not contributed at all. Challenges: soil degradation. The good things we have, but there is 50% of soil that is no more fertile because of the following things, such as pest control that is used on soil, pavement and plowing. Now, this is the problem that is most concerned with nature conservation. Lack of literacy in English language in ICT. Some people in nature conservation might have a problem, but because of the manner in which the language is utilized in ICT, sometimes becomes a problem to use the technology. Computer competence is needed. Rural-urban versus inequalities. Rural and urban inequalities. What that means, it simply means, for instance, in Gauteng and Western Province, Western Cape, there are the provinces that have got more ICT users than any other province in South Africa. So there will be inequality. Gender inequality, more women, not that much given access for the ICT things. And affordability is the main problem of South Africa, as we show the prices there. The loss of pure genetic strains, this is why biodiversity issues come into place. Small number of soil scientists. South Africa does not have so much soil scientists compared with the countries that are under the GOED. Now, this is the proposed framework that we've gathered after we've mentioned all the problems that we encountered with ICT. We need a policy that will cater for all the community involvement. The first priority is contact with the community. Before you come up with any IT solution or an IT technology, and then so that you improve the quality of their life. The economy as well, locally first. They say we have to think locally and act globally. Should be sustainable. If it's not sustainable, then there will be always an imbalance, and that's when that you can talk about the technology. We don't start with the technology first, impose the technology, and then we sort out the problems. First, start getting the local information there, involving local people, business people, then that we can apply the technology. In conclusion, we're saying from the IT side, technology determines the nature of the society. This is the approach which was utilized all along, and of which, according to us, it's wrong. That's why people do not make of utility. Now, what we are recommending is it should be information approach, whereby the focus is on rather than on technology, it's on the integrated environment, indigenous and integrated development objective. Then it's then that we can start applying the technology there. We don't put the technology first and then problems later. We've just realized there is no any one absolute 100% tool for all the problems, but there should something that is made a long way. So that is the conclusion.
Thanks very much, Lucky. We've caught up a lot of time, so there's plenty of time for questions.
Hi. I need some of these solutions yesterday already.
Yeah.
Where do I find a partner to help me with this? Or how can you point me in the right direction for